broadcast studio live here at the GBTA Canada Conference in Toronto. I'm sitting here with Steve Singh from the Managing Director of Madrona. Steve, thank you so much for being here and spending your time with us. So I have some questions for you. And I will read the first one. As companies navigate an increasingly complex global landscape, how can corporate travel evolve from being seen as an operational expense to becoming a strategic driver of business growth, talent engagement, and competitive advantage?
So let's start with this. Travel is fundamentally a force multiplier. Like, what I mean by this is that our world, workforces are getting more distributed, and we're spending less and less time together as human beings. And you think about that plus the role of, or the impact that AI will have in our industry, in fact in every industry, is that it's going to impact literally every business function and every company. And as it does that, there's less time that we spend together as human beings. And if you think about what is really the driver of progress, what is really the driver of moving things together as a community, it's when we spend time together. It's when we actually get to know each other, understand each other, appreciate each other's perspectives. Travel, to me, will actually grow faster in the years ahead than it has in the decades before, because of these changes, which at first appear to be negative perhaps, but I would argue they're going to be force multipliers in how we spend time together and the need for travel.
That's good, and I hope that prediction comes true, because I think you're right. So when talking about the global landscape, disruptions, whether geopolitical, economic, or climate related, are becoming more frequent. What fundamental changes does the industry need to create a more resilient corporate travel ecosystem that can adapt quickly to these challenges?
Well, Christina, I feel like we have a lot of work to do here as an industry. We need to be predictive in how we deal with disruptions in travel. We need to anticipate the needs of our customers. Frankly, even at the time of booking, I'd love to understand who exactly is buying. What are the things that are important to them? What is their pattern of spend? What do they put value on? What do they not put value on? And the only way to do that is to actually have an open platform, open ecosystem that allows the sellers of travel goods to actually communicate with and work with directly the buyers of travel goods, which is you and I as travelers, right? Whether it's for business travel or for consumer travel. That doesn't exist in our industry, and we need to drive towards systems that enable that. Because if we can have a delightful travel experience that actually anticipates our needs, that reacts to negative things that happen and actually tries to fix them, you can imagine that. Like, that would be a much better, not just experience for the customer, but frankly, I think it's a better experience for the travel providers, and frankly, it's a lower cost structure. So I think that's where we need to go, and frankly, we're making progress in this.
That's good to hear that we're making progress, because that's critical. So the corporate travel industry is made up of many stakeholders, as you know, travel managers, TMCs, suppliers, and technology providers, all with different priorities though. What are the most critical areas where the industry needs to align in order to drive meaningful progress and innovation?
This was a tougher one because we all have our own objectives in life. Look, the model that's always worked for me and the companies that I'm lucky enough to be a part of is that you have to remove yourself from the equation. You have to look at this and say, how do I solve for the customer I'm trying to serve? In this case, the traveler. And if there's another customer, it's the provider of travel services. If you solve for that, and let's say, look, how do I perfect the products I deliver into those two customers? Then you're gonna end up at the right, sustainable, long-term solution. There's too many companies that, in my view, look at it and say, what do I get out of it? How do I solve for my needs? And while that's important, and there may be short-term successes around that, it's not an enduring model, and it's not one that travelers who are more discerning, who have more choices, will actually accept in the long term. I think at the end of the day, we have to look at this and say, how do we solve for the two primary customers in our ecosystem?
Fascinating. Good. Well, I hope people get on board with solving that problem, because that will be
we're certainly pushing that direction.
Ultimate solution.
Yep.
So thank you very much for being here today and chatting with us here at GBTA. Much appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
And thank you to our audience for watching. I'm Christina Scott, coming to you live from GBTA Canada Conference here in Toronto 2025. See you again soon.